Uzbekistan's markets are opening up, and not only in the traditional sense, but e-commerce as well. And joining us today is the General Director of Wolt, who is entering Uzbekistan and hoping to compete within the e-commerce market. Joining us is Jelena.
Thank you for having me.
So, first question that I have, and I think most people will have, is what is Wolt?
Wolt is an e-commerce platform founded in Helsinki in 2014. Helsinki is in Finland, if someone of us didn't know. We're basically connecting customers who are looking to buy something with merchants who are selling the food or maybe groceries, some retail items, and then a courier partner who delivers the order on the merchant's behalf. We were operating in 27 countries before Uzbekistan, which makes this country number 28.
That's quite an extensive network.
Yes, for sure.
And
yeah, maybe I would add that our mission is to basically create joy and simplicity for our customers, which means that, it's the convenience of being at home and ordering something directly to your doorsteps. And for careers, we create income, new jobs, and for merchants, we are looking to be the preferred partner for growth.
And then what made you look to Uzbekistan as a potential place to expand to?
Well, firstly, for context, like I already mentioned, we operated in 27 countries before. So in the region, we are already live in Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Georgia. So it's very natural for us to start looking into the region a bit more closely. And an Uzbekistan market is a very big market. It's an emerging, growing one. And for us, it's a very exciting opportunity to be part of that development. And then I would say what we see as a trend is kind of people are adopting the habit of ordering more and more things online, groceries, like I said, or even clothes, food, restaurant food. So it's a very kind of interesting place for us to enter. And then I would add maybe a shout out to Tashkent restaurant scene and overall Uzbekistan restaurant scene. There are a lot of great partners for us to operate with.
And considering Uzbekistan's market is relatively new, but there are quite a few e-commerce platforms already here on the market, how do you think that Wolt will compete with them?
I would say this is not a unique situation. So this is the case for us in most of our markets. There are at least 2-3 players in almost all of our countries. So nothing new here. How we operate or how we compete is we believe in our service, our quality. Like I said earlier, we aim to be the preferred partner for growth. So that means together with the partners, we kind of create the experience for customers, and that way kind of believing in ourselves, in our service, and being the best in the field, hopefully.
One of your roles is also as you're in charge of the expansion of Wolt. You go and you set up the new companies within the new countries, and to do that, obviously, you have to do a lot of market research and see what the trends are. What trends do you see going on within consumer tech, not only in Uzbekistan, but globally?
Yeah, well, firstly, I am part of the team that does. We have actually several other people in our team doing exact same thing as I am. And what we see is kind of food tech is... it's becoming a global phenomenon. There are so many, it's very hard to find a market where this service doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So it's not anymore about us entering a place like a greenfield market. It's more about entering a place where we can actually create value by delivering the service. Kind of the service quality is what I mean. So like I said, it's not about the kind of this not existing anymore. It's about how the quality of it and how it's actually executed. And then we have entered multiple markets that have some other players, and then once we have entered, this is exactly how we expected it to be. And other trends, I would say there's a lot of, it's becoming more frequent also for people to order. So it's not anymore luxury. Mm-hmm. It's not just a weekend thing, but it's a convenience thing in your everyday life. So it's raining outside or it's very hot outside. It's just so much more easy to order the food home and then maybe save that time for spending the time with family and our friends.
And this could quite possibly be one of the positives as a result of COVID, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Being in lockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
And very useful for introverts who don't want to interact with anyone else.
Exactly. You can even sometimes you can even just say hi to the courier and thank you.
And that's it. Over the last, I'd say, year, Uzbekistan has seen a rise in digital payments. Everything has become more digitalized. And we've also seen one of the local companies become one of the first unicorns out of the country. And how do you assess Uzbekistan's shift to digitalization? And also in terms of money being digitalized, is it a good thing? Why is it a good thing? And how do you think Wolt can contribute to this shift and accelerating perhaps and moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's, well, from convenience perspective, speaking from my own experience, it's obviously a good thing. It's just very easy to swipe on an app and pay that way. You don't have to worry about having cash on hand or anything like that. And then again, there's the gray economy that is, everywhere in the world, but digital payments and fiscalization can definitely, it's contributing to reducing that. So from that perspective, I think it's a good thing. How Wolt can contribute to kind of like increasing the digital payment adoption, I think by default, many of the technologies or apps are more, or it's kind of like they're operating in a digital environment. So in that context, it's just more natural to pay with a digital payment method. So of course it's kind of like I said earlier, you don't have to, you just swipe in the app, you place the order, you have your card information there or some other online payment method and it's done. So that way I think it's very inherent for these kind of services. But then of course I would add that since many of our customers, we expect them to be willing still to pay in cash, we will be offering both options for our customers. Cash and online payment methods.
Yes, and I think for Uzbekistan that would be a bit more useful, especially if you expand to the regions. Not all card services work everywhere.
For sure, so like people have different habits, and even though it has been increasing over the past years, like you said, it's not still a thing for everybody, and we want to cater for those people as well.
So when you first launched here in Uzbekistan, obviously you're going to start in Tashkent.
Yes.
And there are plans to expand to the regions, or are they already included within that map?
We are starting from Tashkent, central areas of Tashkent, and we will be expanding very soon within Tashkent. And then after that, we will be looking into other cities and regions as well.
And at the start, you mentioned something about providing jobs to the population. Yeah. And of course, that's a given, considering you'd need delivery drivers, you would need people to man the distribution centers. Yeah. Will you be conducting capacity building for the staff? Because you also mentioned that your customer service is what sets you apart. In Uzbekistan, customer service is not always the best in most industries.
Yeah, of course. Like part of our onboarding is always kind of like we have our global approach to how do we operate with customers, and then we of course localize it to every market to speak with the customers in the most natural way possible. And then of course everybody who joins our team is onboarded to the tools, onboarded to how to interact with customers, with courier partners, with merchants, and so forth.
For me, one of the things that stands out here is a lot of people who want to work as delivery men. They don't always have the resources to do so, such as their own motorbikes or scooters. Will you be providing them with equipment?
Not for the time being. We have had different initiatives in different markets where we have basically been providing, and then the courier partner can pay back in installments or things like this. So far we don't have anything like this in Uzbekistan, but let's see what the future holds.
Because I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there's a lot of different e-scooter rental companies
Yeah.
on the street, and you can always see delivery men from different companies using those
Yeah.
with their backpacks.
Yeah, and for example, in some markets we've negotiated deals with these e-scooter providers, for example, that our couriers can use them for a fixed price or anything like that.
That would be very good.
Yeah.
Especially here, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. As I'm sure you know, Uzbekistan's tech ecosystem is growing rapidly. It's still in its infancy and it's still got a lot to grow even further. But how do you evaluate the ecosystem as it is right now, and how do you see it within the next 5 years?
It's a difficult question because, like you said, it's growing very fast. So I see a lot of new startups, like ecosystems, super apps being developed, fintech, banking, different delivery services. So it's still in kind of like toddler's shoes, as we say, but a lot of stuff going on. And I would evaluate, like, it's hard to say where it's going in 5 years, but what I do see is the kind of like general opinion from very different levels, from the public, from the government, is very positive towards the change. So for example, like government has these different initiatives, IT Park, which I think is great for driving that development and that growth. And then like overall people who I talk to, they seem to be very open to trying out different technologies, which I think then these like factors together contribute to the fact that people are more willing to, create new startups, try different things out, and then that way build new things.
I just got a question that came to my mind is, does Wolt use AI in any way with any of the apps or work that it does?
We're currently AI is so new that we're still figuring out internally what are the best use cases for that, and how we can kind of like use it in the way that it best serves our team and our partners all over. So we don't have any specific use case that I could mention right now, but definitely something we're constantly exploring.
I'm actually interested now. How did you get your partners engaged? You said 500 different florists and restaurants. Do you go personally, or do you send your team out to go and negotiate with?
We have a team here locally who, I don't speak the local languages too well, unfortunately, just yet. So we do have a local team that is taking care of the negotiations. We oftentimes go to the venues in person, call them. We can be contacted through an online forum if there's a partner who wants to work with us.
And this is my final follow-up would be, what do you think will definitely set you apart from those companies that are already operating here? Yeah. From the merchant perspective.
From the merchant perspective, so we have a very good merchant application that our partners use. We also we really take good care of our partners. As we discussed, we're not looking to grow alone, we're looking to grow together with our partners, and for them, obviously, we're able to bring the expertise from many different countries, and then maybe guide them in terms of how to develop their operations. And that I think is super valuable, especially if there are any smaller merchants in this type of market, or what I mean, global market where there are different competitors and a lot of businesses being set up. It's very important to have this type of knowledge and able to improve your operations and service constantly.
Will you have separate distribution centers, or do you rely solely on the couriers going to the merchants?
The couriers will go to the merchants. So how it actually practically looks like is the couriers will be in the city, and then our app optimizes and it will offer the pickup for the best courier who is available.
And obviously each of the merchants.
And sorry, maybe I would just add that the best meaning the best in terms of who is nearby and so forth.
Location.
Yeah.
In terms of efficiency.
Yes. So we don't rate our couriers that way.
1 to 10.
Yes.
And they'll get a grade.
Yeah. Not like that. Yeah.
A star. I also wanted to ask, on your app for the merchants, will they have it, they have to update the inventory, of course.
Yeah.
So that the customers will know who has what.
So we have a team who is merchant services or onboarding team who takes care of this type of. So basically, when a merchant decides to partner with us, let's say a restaurant, they send us their menu and we organize a photo shoot if they don't have the photos, and we will do the upload. And if there are any changes in the menu, they just inform us, and we will update it on their behalf. And then there are of course integrated venues as well, where we can basically automate the operations from their POS to our app.
Excellent. Very efficient.
Yes, definitely.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me once again.
Do you have any last words you'd like to say? How can people find out more about Wolt?
People can find out more about Wolt by downloading the application in App Store or Google Play called Wolt.